Hey, thank you for signing up for Boardly and welcome. I'm glad to see you here. Let me give you a brief overview of how Boardly works. It's a little bit different from your regular project management apps, and I wanted to show you all the nitty-gritty, all the tips and tricks. So when you first sign up, you see this boards page, and here, if you created the structure, you will see the structure that you put together looking like this. So here you have your categories here. And then you have under each category, you have a list of boards. So these are your projects. You can identify, you can change the colors for each category. So everything's going to be grouped by color. And it's just useful to kind of have a visual representation of what happens. On the top here, so you have boards, you have this menu. And this menu is almost always there on many boards, and then from here you can do a lot of different things. So for example, you can create a new board, you can manage the categories, so you kind of change the color, name, and you can see the completed boards. In Boardly, once the board is done, you, like say you finished working for a client, or if it's just a specific project, you can complete the board and it will be moved into completed board section. Let me show you categories quickly and to kind of demonstrate what you can do with that. So when you click on manage categories, what you have here is a list of your categories that you've created. So right now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have 5 categories. The first thing you can do is you can reorganize them. So you can kind of move them up or down, and then depending on which ones you want to see. And this is changes how it's displayed here. So marketing is now first, client second, and all of that. So let me go back here. Then you can change the name of the category. So you can change it to social media, for example, and then you can change the color. And these are the color selections that you have available. I'm going to leave it as red, but if you want to change it to something else, you just click on the color. And then once it's done, it's renamed. When you click here, it's renamed as well. Let me go back here again. I'll show you one more thing. So when you click on here, there's the concept of archived categories. And archived categories is the ones that you don't want longer have or no longer use. And when you click on here, there's nothing here right now. And there's also on the navigation, there's these breadcrumbs, so you can always go back to where you are. Now here with the writing, let's say I'm not going to use this category anymore. I don't have any boards in here. I can click on archive category. It'll ask me, hey, you want to archive it? Yes. If there are no boards, you can just archive it. If there are boards, it'll ask you to move it to a different category. So I'm going to archive it for now because I don't have any boards in there. Let's go back to boards and let's see here. So now what you can do is you can create a new board, but you already have the board. So we'll show you the new board creation in a little bit. Now that you have all these boards, let's click into one. Let's say we want to click into LinkedIn. So this is what an empty board looks like. In Boardly, there's the concept of tasks is broken down into 2 categories. There's unscheduled tasks, and then there's scheduled tasks. This comes from the idea that all work should be scheduled, and once you've scheduled the work, you're more likely to get it done. And anything that's not scheduled, then it's not being done. So this is the underlying concept of Boardly, scheduled and unscheduled work. Let me show you how this works, but before I do, let me just give you a brief overview of this particular screen. So here you have the name of the board. You have your unscheduled tasks at the top, the new button here, and then scheduled tasks at the bottom here. On the left side, you have all of your boards organized by category. And this is done for this quick access. So you can switch between boards quickly. You can go to different boards, kind of use them, jump from back one to the other. And the reason for this was simple. When I was putting together like the work that I needed to do, I had many different things on the go, and I wanted to see quickly what was happening for each. So I just needed this quick menu, and then out of this need came this menu on the side, this jump quickly jump from project to project, from board to board. So let's go back to LinkedIn. Let's see. And then here at the top, you have the button here. So there's a couple of things here. There's the an option to complete the board. And then when you're finished with the board, you can complete it. There's an option to add any tasks, an option to see the completed tasks. if you want to see board settings, so if you want to change the name or do some other stuff with it, you click on here. And then there's also members. So one of the concepts that I wanted to bring in is the idea that I have my own projects, but I also need to work with somebody else, or I need to assign work, but I don't want them to see all of my projects. So they create their own Boardly account, and then we can actually create a shared board, and then I can invite that person to work on that shared board and that board only. So they have their own work, I have my own work, and we have shared work. And I will show you that in a little bit. So let's add a new task. So we'll click on new task. And when you click on new task, you get this side box pop out. And here is what you can do with a new task. So we can add a title. What are you working on? So I'll say I'm writing a post on leadership. Write a post on leadership. And the one thing that I can do right now is I can just press enter, and that task will appear in the unscheduled task. So like this. And then what happens after that, you get a blank new form, so you can just keep adding tasks as you go. Now let's say I want to write a post on strategy, and let's say I want to work on it tomorrow. So what I will do is I will tab into the scheduled bit, and there's two options here. You can either type in tomorrow, or you can click on this calendar button and then actually pick tomorrow. So this will do is it'll schedule the task for tomorrow. Now, if you want to work on this task at a specific time, let's say you want to work at 9 a.m., you can write 9 a.m. in here, and then you can select how long you want to work on it. So you can work on this, say we're going to work on it for an hour. And what this will do is actually schedule the task for tomorrow at 9 a.m. for 60 minutes. Once you've done that, you have a few more other options. You can make this task repeatable. Let's say you're writing this strategy post every week, so you can make it repeatable. And then there's a few options here. So when does it end? Maybe you want to work on it for 4 weeks, but I'm going to change that. We're not going to do this repeatable yet. Priority. If it's a high priority one, you can select priority here. By default, it's unknown. And then there's other option here, due by. So schedule and due by, there are two concepts that kind of a little bit different. Schedule is when you want to work on it, and due by is when is it due. So you might have a due date that's kind of coming up in the future, and you want to keep track of that due date, but you want to work on it a little bit before. So what you can do is you can pick a due date. Let's say we want this done by latest Friday. And you can also add an optional description. When you add this task, what happens is it puts the task into the scheduled section. Let me close this right now. So you can see that it put the scheduled tasks, this task into the scheduled task category. And then here you can tell that it's scheduled for January 6th between 9 and 10 a.m., so 60 minutes. And they have this due date stamp. And this due date stamp is done like this specifically so that you can easily see when things that you have that are due. Okay. So that's due on January 2026. And you will be able to kind of see all of the due dates kind of stick out, so you'll be able to recognize it very quickly. Now, it's no fun having just two tasks. Let's add a few more. Let's say you're kind of thinking about LinkedIn and you're planning a lot of tasks. You can either do it like this. You can just kind of one after the other. Or if you want to just do a brain dump of tasks, you have this option here. And you click on the circle, add many tasks, and then just add many tasks. Each task is a new task. So let's say write a post about marketing, write a post about Boardly, review follower and other analytics, and let's say comment on John's post. Let's say we have these. So once you've written out, you write up to 25 at a time. You click on add all, and what happens here, you have the tasks are added into LinkedIn folder. Then you have two options, actually three options. You can add more, so you can be like this, add more. or you can actually be done with the board and it'll take you to the board. When you click cancel, it'll take you back to the board. Let's do a quick refresh. And here are the tasks in the board. Now, once you added all the tasks, you have a few options here. So all of these, as you can tell, the unscheduled task will tell you what the task is, the checkbox, and when it was created. And the created bit is useful because you'll be able to see how long ago the task has been created. So if you haven't scheduled the task if you created a task a month ago and you haven't scheduled it, you'll be able to see that it's kind of an old task. And once you have the tasks listed out in the unscheduled section, you can actually organize them by moving them up or down, kind of reordering, putting things at the top. Right? So that's just kind of unstructured way, but you can prioritize them this way. When you're ready to work on them, you have a couple options to put them into the schedule, to schedule the tasks. First option is for you to just take the task here and then just drag it into the scheduled task section. Drop it in and we'll schedule it for the current day. That's it. The second option is you've seen already, you can click on the task, update task, and then you can actually schedule it for the 7th, let's say at 10 a.m. It's going to be 90 minutes. That's a long post, let's say 15 minutes. And then you click on update task and it'll be scheduled on January 7th from 10 for 15 minutes. There it is. And the third way to schedule is to click on this 3 dots here. And here you have the schedule for option. You can schedule for today, tomorrow, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. And then it's just a quick shortcut to schedule. So let's say we want to schedule for Saturday. It gets scheduled for Saturday right here. Now let's say you scheduled something and you want to just unschedule it. You have a few options here as well. You can just move it back like this and it gets unscheduled. You can click on this and click on unschedule. You can also schedule it for a different day. And these are your options. You can unschedule and gets unscheduled. Then finally, you can click on edit and you can just clear that out and then click on update and it'll be unscheduled. So there's a few ways to unschedule work. But let's schedule a few things here. Let's schedule one for tomorrow. Let's schedule one for today. Let's schedule one for Thursday. Let's schedule a bunch of stuff. So now we have all of these things scheduled. Let's say we wrote a task. Let's say we follow other analytics, but we really don't want to do this for LinkedIn. This is one of those operations things. Let's say we want to move it to a different board. You can click on this option here again, and then click Move Task. And then here you have all of your boards available, and then you can actually click on Operations, click on here, Move, and it's moved. So if we go to Operations, there it is. Let's schedule this task. Let's schedule it for tomorrow. And that's it. Let's go back to LinkedIn. Let's see what we have here. So we have a bunch of this stuff. Let's actually move this one here. Let's move it to Abbott, just to show you what this looks like. Then click on Abbott. Let's schedule this as well for today. All right, so let's say you right now we have LinkedIn, we have a bunch of stuff scheduled. We have operations, we have one task scheduled. And then we have Abbott, and we have one task scheduled. Boardly comes with this concept of an agenda. And when you click on the agenda, what you here have is all of the tasks that you've scheduled for today, for tomorrow, and for the next 5 days on one page. So in the morning, what I do is I go to my agenda and I see what I have scheduled and I just kind of knock them off as I go. Now, from here, what you can do is when you're finished with the task, what you see is each task has this tint of the color of the category. So if the category is blue, the color is tinted, and then you see the board that it belongs to here, and then all the details about it. What you can do here as well, you can actually move the task tomorrow, and it will be moved to tomorrow, and you can move it to the next 5 days, or you can move it back to today. You can unschedule and it will disappear. you can complete the task. And when you complete the task, it will stick around here for a few seconds, and then it will slowly fade away, and then it gets removed from here. But if you made a mistake, you can always kind of unclick it. So there's a little bit of grace there. Now, on the agenda, there's also this calendar view, and then you can see each dot means there's something that's been scheduled for that day. So if we click on, there's no dot, there's nothing scheduled. If there is a dot, there's something scheduled. You can click on the dot and you will get a brief kind of overview of what's scheduled on that particular day, and then however many tasks you may have. So if you have tasks, let's schedule this task for a little bit further into the future, 21. It gets removed. Let's refresh this page quickly, and now we have 21. So there you go. There's a task scheduled on January 21st. And here you have 6 weeks in advance, so you can see what's happening 6 weeks in advance. Usually that's enough time. All right, so that's your agenda. And then with agenda, now this is my development version, so this is not the exact URL, but with the agenda, you can actually add this list to your calendar. So you can copy this agenda, and then you can subscribe on your calendar to this particular list. So on your calendar, what you will get is all of your tasks, all of your tasks on your agenda in your calendars. You'll be able to see whatever you have scheduled. You'll be properly scheduled and then organized in your calendar, so you can quickly see on your phone, for example, what you need to do if you're away from your computer. So that's on one of the features that I built in. Let's go back to boards. Let's go back to LinkedIn. You can also there's another option on the LinkedIn, on the board, when you can go to settings. You can also put just this particular project onto a calendar. So if you don't want the whole agenda, you just want to watch a particular project, you can put this, use this specific link for that purpose. Now, if you want to exclude any of the scheduled tasks from being on the agenda, let's say you just have this stuff, you're scheduling it, or maybe you're not scheduling it, or you just don't want it to appear on the agenda, you can just click on this, exclude from the agenda, and it won't appear in the agenda, and it also won't appear on the agenda calendar. Since we're in the settings, you can change the name here, LinkedIn content. You can move it to a different category, however many categories you have. You can add a board description, LinkedIn tasks. So when you do that, when you click on Save Changes, you'll have a description show up here at the top. Now, there's a few more things I want to show you before we finish. It's getting on this video. Part of Boardly, I have this thing called Notes. And Notes is just a way to record whatever thoughts you have. You might use Notion or all the other things for your kind of day-to-day work, but if you just needed a quick place to just keep track of notes, it's there. It was useful to me, but this is one of those features which it's nice to have, but maybe not useful all the time. The way you create a note, you can click on this menu item here, click on New Note, and then give it a title. This is my note, and click Next. And you just start writing, and it autosaves automatically. This is my note about this video, and it autosaves automatically. You don't need to worry about anything else. You can also click Save Changes. When you click Save Changes, it takes you to this note view. When you go back to Note, the first thing you see is the recent notes. So this is the one. And when you click on the category, My Notes, you'll also see the notes. They're all organized by the most recent one you've opened. There's a quick way to edit. So when you click on here, it takes you to the edit option. When you click on the actual note right here, it'll take you to this page. And there's an option for quick edit, but you can also edit through this area. Now you can copy notes. So make a copy of the note, and it just creates a quick copy of this note. You can also pin the note. So when you click on the pin, it'll say that it's pinned right here. And then you go to notes and all the pinned notes will show up at the top. So if you want something always at the top, you can pin them. Then you can also provide access to the note. So what this does, it creates the public view. Sorry, this not creates the public view. This is the one you can actually invite people to see the note and edit the note. So this is the same feature as the boards. You can share boards and work with other people on them. So you can send an invitation link, or you can reset it if somebody else got the note, and then you will see all the people that have access to it in this list here. One last thing, you can archive the note. When you archive the note, this note will be put into archive, so you won't be able to see in the list, but you can always get to it. So it'll say this note has been archived, and when you can get to it like this, archive notes, and this is the archive note. You won't be able to add it. There's a quick add option at the top here where you can add many tasks. So when you add many tasks, it actually adds them to the inbox. This is the default one. So if you want to just do a quick brain dump and then later on move it to the right boards, you can use the inbox bit for that. And this is what this quick add is for. You can also create a new note, a new board. Lastly, there's the summary section. Right now, it will not have much in it, but once you start using it, you will be able to see the most active board by tasks completed, and then how many tasks were added, how many tasks were scheduled and not scheduled. So you'll be able to see where most of your work is being done. And this summary is for this week and for last week only, just to kind of give you an idea of where the work is happening. I welcome any ideas to make this page a bit more useful, but for me, this was one of the best use cases where I can see where I spend most of my time so that I can dedicate my focus to the right project. And that's it for now. Let me just show you one more thing, which is the members part. When you click on members, members, you can invite people to join you. There's an option here to send invitation email. So when you click on that, you just type in their email address. So let's say john@example.com, and then you will say, hey, John, using this board to manage our project. Sign up. You don't have an account. And let's work on this together. Right, so once you do send the invite, it will send the invite to this person, John, and then John will be able to join, and then you will have access. He will have access to this board in his external boards section. For that, I'll make another video, but for now, let me just click send and invitation sent. And then once the person gets the link, they'll be able to join. And I will show you how that's done in different videos. But this has been a quick overview of Boardly, on how Boardly works. Let me know if you have any questions. There's the feedback button right here where you can send feedback to me directly. And if you have any questions, you can use the button as well. I get the email and I can respond. All right. Thanks so much, and I will see you in the next video.